All right, whether we like it or not, our lives, our careers, and those of our children are also being shaped by social media, apps, and artificial intelligence. And only those who learn to navigate this digital landscape with awareness and skill are going to truly thrive.
So joining us live now is author of Smartphone Nation, Why We're All Addicted to Our Screens and What You and Your Family Can Do About It. We'd like to welcome to the show Caitlin Rieger. Caitlin, thank you so much for joining us. So glad that you're here to talk about this really important topic. And I must say, we're at an age where technology is kind of developing faster than we can even handle. It really is the wild, wild west in terms of the information, the misinformation online, and all the kind of toxic things we can see out there. But your book offers solutions for families and especially families with kids. So what is kind of your biggest, I guess, finding or advice when it comes to navigating this digital landscape?
Gosh, I mean, I think we often ask, how many times did we look at our phone today? Right? That's not really the question. I'm interested in how many times did you look at your phone to do one thing, only to find yourself 10 minutes later doing something different?
Yep. Too many.
Too many.
Yeah.
And for parents, I'm actually not so interested in how much time your kids spent on a screen, but rather what content they were fed and why that content was different from what someone else's kid received.
Yeah.
So I look at how these algorithmic processes work, and then I give people tools in order to take greater control over them, so that we move away from being passive products, just consuming whatever is fed to us, into being active participants.
So are you in a way trying to like break the algorithmic clutch that the phone seemed to hold over us? Is that kind of what you're talking about?
Yeah, so in Smartphone Nation, I give people tools so that they can game their algorithm, so that they can take greater control, and so that we can be much more intentional about our usage.
So that's possible.
Yeah.
Wow.
It is possible.
Oh my gosh.
We can decide.
Right. So I'm curious about how a parent can decide if they're not on their kid's phone. And we had a viewer, we're asking our viewers today how they limit their screen time. And one viewer said they use something called Family Link, but that just controls the time spent on the phone. So how does a parent curate the content for their kids, for example?
Okay, so you brought up the term screen time. So screen time is limiting the dosage of screen consumption to about 1 to 2 hours a day. And that was based on some good physical wellness, physical well-being research. That didn't account for mental well-being. So screen time is only about the quantity of time spent on screens, not about the quality.
Yeah, good point.
And so what we want to be doing is thinking about, if our kid is going to be on a screen, what type of screen are they inhabiting? Is it a regulated space?
Yeah.
Or is it YouTube? Well, we know that from the age of 3, 81% of kids are on YouTube. That is an algorithmically driven, non-regulated space. And that's even before we get to the phone.
Wow.
So what we need to be thinking about is, are we programming our kids into these algorithmic loops from the age of toddlers? Or do we want to be much more intentional about our usage? So intentional usage would look like content that educates us, content that sparks discussion, content that we co-view together as a family, that is collective, and that so that we break out of these information silos into a more collective space.
You just said the word information and misinformation, and avoiding it and being able to spot it is part of your book. We don't have a ton of time, but I really want to get into that, because the ability to spot misinformation, what are your best tips for parents and even maybe younger people watching this morning in terms of figuring out and understanding what's real and kind of what's fake?
Look, I think this is something we can start talking to our kids about from a very, very early age. We can start talking about what are the types of things that looks like a fake image? How do we know that something's fake? How do we kind of start to spot disinformation? And also, are we in an information silo, or are we in a U-loop? Are we seeing the same ideas over and over and over again? If you are, you're probably in your own U-loop, and it's good to step away from that. So we need to be having these discussions with our friends and with our kids, probably earlier than we like to admit.
Caitlin, last question very quickly. I know we have to go, but you talk about this notion of spring cleaning your kind of digital space for better mental health. Mental health is huge these days in terms of how many people are suffering from various kinds of disorders and just feelings of angst and depression. How do you do that? Are there certain apps that you want to be like, delete?
Yeah, that's right. I
we
mean,
want something concrete. Like,
if
what
it's
do you
not
do?
serving you, if it doesn't make you feel good, get rid of it.
Okay.
And that means the apps on your home screen, but also within the application itself. If you're following someone that doesn't make you feel good, unfollow it.
Yeah.
If you already bought that bathing suit for holiday, you don't need to keep seeing the same bathing suit, which will probably make you feel like you bought the wrong one in the first place. Like, get rid of it, clean it, be brutal.
Yeah.
Do that deep clean so that you're consuming things that make you feel good and serve you.
Yeah, be honest with yourself. I think that's such a key takeaway there. Caitlin Revere, appreciate this. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank
Nice to
you
meet
so
you.
much.
Yeah.
Nice to
great
meet
book,
you.
Smartphone
Fascinating
Nation.
book.
You can
Thank
check for it right now.